Hello, I am Andres Mitnik. I am the CEO of Strong by Form, and our vision is quite simple. We are trying to replace highly polluting structural materials like concrete, steel, and aluminum with wood. But of course, this is not any wood. This is a next generation timber composite. We are from Chile, but we're based also in Stuttgart, in Germany, and in Madrid. So our superpower is the fact that our technology allows us to create something that is lightweight, that is sustainable because it's made out of wood, and that is also made out of cheap wood. So the combination of using a renewable material with using a small amount and a cheap amount of a sustainable material allows us to compete with concrete at a par with price. And that's what is attractive to our clients, because we're not asking them to sacrifice revenues, but we're only asking them to change the material they're using for a more sustainable one at a price par. Well, I guess the biggest myth about Contech startups is that it can be done. This is a really tough environment, and it's a really tough world. I think to be successful in the Contech world, you don't need to be only technical. And I think that's actually the myth, that you need to have a very sound technical proposal, because that's definitely not enough. You need to be a good salesman, and furthermore, in our case, we're trying to reduce the adoption period of 40 years and bring it down to 10 years to be a startup. And to do that, you need to do branding, you need to have early products, you need to have sexy products, and then you have to have massive products. So you need to be able to dance a very unique play where you combine financing, product development, and technology development in a way that the project is feasible. So far has been putting a structure in a Deutsche Bahn station, because as much as I love Deutsche Bahn because they allow us to do our first structural project, they're very conservative when it comes to safety. So we have a weather cabin that looks amazing, that is in Berlin Südkreuz, and it's a big icon. But for me, the most important part of that project was to be able to place the project, because we have to run with so many testings regarding fire, regarding mechanical properties, regarding weatherproofing. And at the end of the day, they allow us to showcase it for 2 weeks. And then we had to disassemble it because it was a safety concern. That happened last September, and it's still standing at Südkreuz 8 months afterwards, meaning that they trusted us. And for me, that was a huge challenge, honestly, to be able to comply with them. I would say it's inception. I feel like Contech is really at the inception level still. Construction is, to be honest, a primitive industry. We're doing things the same way we did it 80 years ago, best case scenario, 60 years ago. And of course, there's some advances in like digitalization of documents, but at the end of the day, we're using bricks and mortars to build structures. And productivity has lagged for the last 40 years. So for me, we're at the inception level. There's everything to be done in this industry. You know, I think that is the fact that there exists an ecosystem, and that actually there are partners willing to bend the rules of traditional venture capital in order to make you succeed. That is a knowledge that you can only learn once you are in the system. But like the event we're here right now, all these big general contractors are trying to push startups like Strong by Form and many others. And they exist, and they have testing grounds, and they have a will for these technologies to exist. And that is something that from the outside world, probably nobody knows. I can be a bit biased, but to be honest, I think it's going to be European. And I think it's going to be European because legislation in Europe is more stringent. And this is the type of market where when the regulator tells you what you need to do, companies push and find the technology and develop the technology that then is widely implemented. But if the regulator doesn't push, no one actually makes a change. And I think Europe is the place where that regulation is more stringent, and in a funny way, that's a very good thing, not a bad thing.
So bullish on Europe.
Bullish in Europe.
Thank you very much.
My pleasure.